Welcome to ISE's Equity Index Weekly Outlook, a weekly outlook on ISE and other industry indexes, hosted by Patrick Ceresna, a derivative market specialist and investment manager with extensive expertise in options and the broader derivative markets. ISE trades options on more than 15 proprietary sector indexes, as well as broad-based indexes and a variety of licensed benchmarks. ISE continually enhances its trading systems and develops new index options products to provide investors with the best marketplace and investment tools to trade smarter.
Hello and welcome to the ISE Equity Index Outlook for March 9th, 2009. This is your host, Patrick Ceresna. First off, I want to take a look at the S&P 500 using the Spider Exchange Traded Fund, SPY, with a technical break of the 75 level on the downside. Last week we said it opened the window for that next leg of the down move, which we target a shortened move at the 67 level or an extended move that could go as low as the 60 level on this move down. At this stage on Friday we completed the target to the 67 level. It doesn't mean that we can't see further selling this week. It's too early to officially call a market bottom, but it probably isn't unrealistic to expect it to happen this week or early next week. So it's just a matter of waiting to see how this plays out before we have a retracing move back to the upside. Next off, I want to take a look at the ISE US Regional Banks Index, which is the symbol JLO, and we had last week a test of that $10 area, which is marked by the blue line, and had the retracing move reject back in that $13-14 area, and another sell-off that came back to this $10 zone. Our downside target always measured out to the $6 to $8 area on the downside. If another wave of good selling comes in the next day or so, we can expect that move to come right into that box on the downside, and that's probably where we can expect to see some sort of a short-term bottom put in. When we take a look at the ISE Sindex, which is symbol SIN, it's an index of all the casino, tobacco, and distiller companies. We had a downside measured move coming down into the 45 to 50 zone on the downside. We are now right in the middle of our profit-taking box, or our measured move, but at this stage, with the broader market looking like there might still be a little bit more selling, we can probably go to the bottom end of that box. If for whatever reason the selling intensifies on this index, the next measured level extended move comes all the way down to the $35 to $38 area on the downside. We're not anticipating the sell-off to go that deep, just stating where that target would be, but we are probably looking to see a bottom come in somewhere at the low end of this zone right here. When we take a look at the ISE Home Builders Index, which is the symbol RUF, we basically have now reached a downside target of the focal point on the 4.5 to 5 on the downside. This again would be a very logical place for the home builder index to bottom from a measured move perspective, but if the broader market continues to sell in the short term, we have that down even as low as that 410 area on the downside targeted as could slightly overextend on the downside. More or less, we're anticipating a short-term bottom somewhere along these lines. Next, I want to take a look at the ISE Natural Gas Index, which is the symbol FUM. We are now hit right into the dead center of our downside projected target, which was in the 49 to 54 zone on the downside. At this stage, though, we cannot rule out the possibility of a little extension to this if the market has one or two sharp sell-offs. The downside extended move could go as low as the 40 to 43 area on the downside, but one way or another, the measured moves are all coming to completion here. And finally, I want to just have a quick look at the ISE Mini FTSE 100 Index, which is the symbol UKX. And our first downside target last week was the 350 level marked by the solid blue line. We basically had a bounce on that early last week, and a consolidation below that 365, 375 focal point. If the broader markets continue, including the global markets, and continue their selling, then the completed measured move on the downside of the FTSE is down to that 300 to 325 on the downside. Let's just see if that gets hit in the upcoming week. And that was your ISE Equity Index Outlook. Thank you.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. For more information about Patrick Ceresna and to sign up for free index options trade alerts, visit www.optionsource.net. To learn more about ISE index options, visit us at www.ise.com/indexoptions.